Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Now students, this is where many students were asking about this question. This question, students. I should say that this one question, it's a luck factor which has been there. Somehow the other students, I have referred two case law in my module, which was not being referred by the ICAI case law. Two case law was one was NDTV, Supreme Court decision, and another was Pilcom, Supreme Court. Again a landmark judgment. It's an international taxation, but it is there. In this attempt, students, they have asked NDTV, Supreme Court. It is not there in the ICAI case law list at all. But I felt this is a landmark judgment, should have been there. So I have made a very detailed presentation of NDTV in my booklet. NDTV case. Pilcom was also equally extensively covered in my book, in my capsule book. In my regular batch, I have covered, students, very extensively these case laws. So, but ICAI has not covered this case law. This NDTV came. NDTV is this one, students. Point number 3. This is the NDTV case. Classic NDTV case law. This case law, students, all of you at least would have appeared. Everyone would have appeared this one because everyone knew. This is Hemant Kumar Sindhi and others. Students, remember that Hemant Kumar Sindhi and others, this question? This is the question of 224, whereby the search has happened, the asset has been seized, and before the assessment got completed, the assessee made an application. Application for what? That kindly sell my asset and adjust my estimated liabilities. Can you do that? Can you make this kind of an application? And the answer is no, you cannot make such kind of an application, students. This is what is the case of Hemant Kumar Sindhi and others. So this is not possible at all. This is again to the landmark judgment. ICAI has not covered. Now this is a new trend which I am seeing of the ICAI. Nobody is aware of this case law. Do you know, students, what is this case law? Herein, this is Bashir Ahmed Sisodia's case. Supreme Court, latest judgment again. Bashir Ahmed Sisodia's case. Again, no coverage of the ICAI at all in this case. Bashir Ahmed. Now this is a dangerous trend which ICAI is adopting now. Now because this was something a very talked about case law. I'm not sure whether anyone of you are aware of this case law. This was actually a talk of town case law. NDTV, Pilcom and Bashir Ahmed Sisodia's. I have covered in my book NDTV and Pilcom. Bashir Ahmed was talk of town, but I have not covered it. But I knew, the moment I saw this question, I came to know Bashir Ahmed Sisodia is what these people have targeted. The trend which I am finding, students, in the ICAI is that these are the case laws which are not covered in their list. Bashir Ahmed Sisodia was also not there in their list, but they have targeted this one. Beautiful case law, students. NDTV also was not there in the list. Students, NDTV was also not there in the list, but they have targeted. So what is this Bashir Ahmed Sisodia, students? Beautiful case law. I don't think are you aware of this case law, students? Any one of you are aware of Bashir Ahmed Sisodia? This case law. So students, in this particular context of Bashir Ahmed Sisodia, let's look upon to this case law. Beautiful judgment. What has happened is that Hemant Kumar Sindhi, every one of you are aware. You'll say, sir, but what if we have not attempted it? Fine, you have not attempted, at least academically, at least learn something, students. So let's look upon to this one, students, over here. Bashir Ahmed Sisodia, what has happened was, the SSC, students, the SSC over here, he has done some transaction with some unregistered dealers and all. With unregistered dealer, he has done some transactions. Now, because he has done the transaction with the unregistered dealers, therefore what should? Therefore, there was primarily no invoices, documents, all these things, because these are all unregistered dealers from him who has done the purchases. So obviously, he could not got those particular invoices and all. Assessing officer, in the course of the assessment, what he said? He said for the details of all the purchase transaction. Somehow, we don't know what happened, but assessee very reluctantly, he has not given those details. ऐसा लगता है कि कभी कभी छोड़ो ना, देखते क्या होगा, कितना डिसलॉक कर लोगे, like that kind of attitude. how much disallowed you'll do, was the kind of an attitude. So he has not given those details at all. And because he could not give the details, therefore, first of all, the AO went into that mode of unexplained expenditure, unexplained cash credits and all those stuff. So he, first of all, he also went with 144, rejecting the books of accounts and all. And then he made the final assessment. So that 68, he invoked the provision of cash credit. He disallowed, he rejected the books of accounts and made the assessment of 144. So the assessment then went to the very higher side. Obviously, the SSC now felt threatened. Not only that, now the AO also started with the penalty proceedings. Students, he also started with the penalty proceedings. Now, students, in the penalty proceedings, be careful. In the penalty proceeding, now the SSC, because he was trying to go for the underreporting and concealment category, and we all know how huge the penalty can be. Underreporting or concealment, this is the category, and the penalty would be very high. Now the SSC felt threatened, and then what he did was that he in fact got what? Affidavit of out of 15, some 13 supplier who was supplied in those particular marbles. So he got his affidavit of all these particular players. The moment he got the affidavit of all these particular person, students, you all know then the penalty proceeding was dropped. The penalty proceeding was dropped in this case. Now, once the penalty proceeding was dropped, now the SSC attacked the assessment proceedings. See the beauty of this case law. See a beauty of the case law. From the penalty, he went to the assessment. And he ensured that now is that assumption. What was the assumption, students? What was the assumption? The assumption was in the assessment. What was the assumption, students? The assumption in the assessment was that the purchases were all bogus entry. The purchases was a bogus entry. Now, with the evidence which the SSC has produced in the penalty proceedings, whether that assumption, students, whether that assumption is now, can we say now this assumption is no longer applicable, because now it is proved beyond a doubt and accepted by the income tax department, that this particular entries are not bogus entry. These particular entries are not a bogus entry, and therefore it was being held by the Supreme Court that now this assumption no longer exists, and hence that additions which was being made, primarily those additions also now needs to be rectified. So why this is such a landmark judgment? Through penalty proceeding, you went to the assessment proceedings to ensure that those additions are being removed. Those additions made in the assessments are being removed. This is a why landmark judgment, because it gives an SSC a second chance, a second lifeline. Through penalty proceedings, you can go back to the assessment proceedings and ensure that the additions which are being made in the assessment proceedings are being removed. This is students the case law of Bashir Ahmed Sisodia. This is students the case law of Bashir Ahmed Sisodia for all of you. I hope that you have likened this particular judgment, students, over here. All of you. Fine, students. So this was what primarily this judgment was all about. I am absolutely was stunned when I found this judgment primarily of Bashir Ahmed Sisodia, because ICAI has not covered it, this particular case law, and this is how the things are there. Now, students, in this context, let's have a look over here. First proviso, students. First and second proviso to section 147, students. Now, this is the NDTV case law, students. NDTV case law. First proviso to section 147. Now, students, first of all, what has happened? What exactly is the situation over here? It's a very complex. If you see the question, let's have a look through the question, and then I'll just take you to the judgment of this one. So, herein, the question, students, which was being there. Let's have a look to the question first. So here in front, the SSC World Television Corporation Limited invested in several subsidiary companies outside India. This is where the things are. During the year 2009-2010, one of these subsidiary companies issued the coupon bonds. The So the SSE primarily has invested in several subsidiaries. So it was holding company. It's actually the NDTV in India that we all know. So it is invested in the several subsidiary companies outside India. So during the year, one of these subsidiary companies issued a bond. So it is made it like an investment. The Indian company had an investment, financial interest in a foreign entity, financial interest in a foreign entity. The SSE furnished the corporate guarantee in respect of such bonds. The case was selected for scrutiny assessment. WTCL disclosed all the material facts and also entities that subscribe to these bonds. So not only the SSE, not only that the SSE has subscribed to the bond, primarily, not only that the SSE has subscribed to the bond, the bonds was also being subscribed by other particular entities also. Other entities also subscribed to this particular bond. While the AO did not doubt the validity of the transaction, it added a deemed guarantee fee. Why? Because the SSE had gone for a guarantee in this case. That because the bonds was being issued across to all the subsidiary companies. So now SSE is standing as a guarantor. Guarantor as what? That the interest from this bond would be paid by the subsidiary company. That the interest from this bond would be paid by the this subsidiary company. So that sort of a guarantee, students, was being mentioned over here. Now let's see further. On 31st March 2015, on the basis of the subsequent year's assessment proceedings, the department sent a notice under section 147 stating that it has a reason to believe that the income has escaped the assessment because the overseas entities were sham companies and the amount raised by them should be treated as income of the SSE. Amount raised by them should be treated as what? Should be treated as the income of the SSE. And since the SSE did not disclose all the material fact, truly the extended period of limitation of 6 years can be invoked. Now this is the game, students. The question was on first and the second proviso of section 147. This question was based on these two provisos. The SSE contended that since the original assessment was detailed one, original assessment was a detailed one, and it disclosed all the primary facts before the AO. The AO cannot reopen the case, which is wrong. Which the Supreme Court said, no, this you cannot say that since it was a detailed assessment, therefore the AO cannot go for a reassessment under 147. That is not the defense available to the SSE. That because the original assessment was a detailed one, therefore the reassessment under in the extended time limit is not available. After losing the case at the High Court, the SSE appealed to whom? To the Supreme Court of India. So he went thereafter to the Supreme Court of India. The department contended that since the SSE had foreign asset, second proviso to section 148 is applicable. The limitation period is 16 years. Now please be very careful for this. Please be very careful. What they are doing, department, what they are doing. This is obviously, students, I must say that those students who knew this case law of NDTV, they can do. Department is doing they are taking two defense. One is of 6 years. Remember, this is 6 year defense that they are doing. That because the SSE did not disclose all the material facts, therefore that 6 years extended period is available to me. Now at the same time, department is also saying what? That the extended period of 16 years are also available to me because it is of what? Because if it is in relation to the income is in relation to a foreign assets. So the department themselves are playing safe. First the argument was on 6 years and subsequently the argument was on 16 years. In fact, students, the actual thing that happened, which actually is not given in the question, the actual thing that has happened was in the notice which was being issued under 148, it was not mentioned at all. It was not mentioned at all, students. In the notice which was being issued under 148, it was not mentioned at all about its 16 years thought. The SSE was under the impression of only that 6 years thing. Later on, students, the department came up with that 16 years criteria, somewhere in between. So that is where the Supreme Court gave a very adverse remark on the department that look, you cannot keep changing your position. If you had the intention of 16 years, why didn't you did at the very outset? At the very outset, you had this intention of only 6 years thing, and somewhere in between, you are now taking the position of what? that you want to invoke 16 years period. You want to invoke a 16 years period. Now, whether this sort of procedure or remedy, is it available to the department that initially they went with 6 years and thereafter they want to invoke 16 years? This was an issue under consideration. This was one of the main issue under consideration, that initially you want to go for 6 years, later on you want to extend it to 16 years. See here, you are required to answer the following question based on the relevant provision and recent ruling. Relevant provision, students, 147 has to be written, and recent ruling, NDTV. Both have to be written. Whether the revenue has a valid reason to believe that the income has escaped assessment even if the original assessment was detailed one, whether they had a valid reason to believe, revenue had a reason to believe, and whether the revenue can take the benefit of extended period of 16 years, citing that the case did not disclose full and true disclosure. So this is primarily what they are trying. The three questions which they are posing here, students, is nothing but the case law. It is nothing but the case law. I'll directly show you the case law, students, over here. Obviously, this is more now on the academic part, students, in this case, in this particular context. In this context, students, let's have a look. Why is new courses coming out? So here, students, what will happen is that first proviso to section 147 and second proviso to section 147. So if you see that first proviso is about that 4 years to 6 years, between 4 years to 6 years. Can you take into account? 4 years to 6 years, yes, you can take into account. 4 years to 6 years, students, you can take into account, provided what, students, over here, be careful. 4 years to 6 years, you can go with this particular part, provided that this two things should be there. Herein, what are the two things that, students, which they have covered it over here, that unless the income chargeable to tax for the reason on the failure on the part of the SSC, there has to be a reason on the part of the SSC, and students, and he has not disclosed fully and truly all the material facts. So whatever has been escaped, that income that has escaped should be of failure on the part of the SSC, and he has not disclosed the fully and truly all the material facts. That is the case, students. That is a case where we will say what, students, in this situation? We shall then say that it will be considered as what? This provision for asset, the provision for the diminution in the valuation of the asset. Students, that is what, in this context, it will be referred as what? The 4 to 6 years. The 4 to 6 years period of limitation can be invoked only if these two conditions are satisfied. Now, the second proviso to section 147, what it says? Nothing contained in the first proviso shall apply in the case where any income in relation to any asset located outside India chargeable to tax has escaped for any of the assessment year. नजर हुसैन सर, आपने म्युनिसिपल टैक्स को बाद में लेस किया है, जबकि जीएवी के बाद लेस होता है, एनएवी आती है उसमें चार्ज रिडक्शन. हाँ, तो जीएवी लेस म्युनिसिपल टैक्स पेड, एनएवी, ठीक है, देख लेते हैं ना क्या है. मैं चेंज कर लूंगा, डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस वन. अगर इसके अंदर ये इशू रहेगा, आई जस्ट चेंज इट. तो जीएवी माइनस म्युनिसिपल टैक्स पेड कर लेंगे. एनएवी के बाद चार्ज रिडक्शन ले लीजिएगा 30%. जो भी होगा, फ्लो में अभी तोड़ता नहीं हूँ, इसके अंदर मैं चेंज कर दूंगा. अगर ऐसा किया है, मैंने देखा, अभी कंफर्म नहीं किया इन दिस केस, क्योंकि मुझे न्यू कोर्स का भी देखना था. तो स्टूडेंट, आइए जल्दी से इसको जस्ट लेट्स क्विकली रन थ्रू दिस वन. So basic principle of the Supreme Court. Now students, basic principle has been given. I have just given you. You can just read this one out. Coming to the main judgment, students, over here, main judgment. On appeal, it was being held that the SSC's contention that once the transaction of bond has been accepted to be correct, the department could not reopen. It was not sustainable. So herein, students, in this context, the SSC's point that because it was a detailed one, वो मैंने बताया ना, since it is a detailed one, can he do the reassessment? They can always do the reassessment. So this detailed argument put forth by the SSC is incorrect. So that is the first part. And now here, students, that even before the assessment order, please be careful. In the assessment order was passed, the assessing officer was aware of the entities. Now this is unfortunately, students, this is unfortunate. In the question, you don't come to know that the AO was aware of the fact, primarily about what? That all these investment made in the subsidiary existed. So that is a limitation of this question. And this is unfortunate. This particular question could have been solved by the students only if they knew the case law. क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स को तो ये पता नहीं है अबाउट द फैक्ट कि ये क्वेश्चन के अंदर, वो केस लॉ के अंदर ये पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट मौजूद है. एंड व्हाट इज दैट? द एओ न्यू द फैक्ट अबाउट ऑल द इन्वेस्टमेंट्स which the SSE has done in all his foreign subsidiary. तो क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं, can we therefore say that the SSE has not disclosed all the material fact? This cannot be said. Students, the SSE, now we cannot do an argument that the SSE has not disclosed the material fact. The SSE indeed has disclosed the material fact. The SSE indeed has disclosed the material fact, students. And that exactly is the point. So therefore, if you see over here, students, very carefully, all of you, just have a look, students, over here quickly. So that even before the assessment order was passed, the assessing officer was aware of the entities which had subscribed to the convertible bond. The extended period of limitation of 6 years for initiating the proceedings. Initiating the proceedings under the first proviso to section 147 of the Act could be invoked only the department could show that the SSE has failed to disclose. So therefore, since the SSE has not disclosed, since the SSE has disclosed all the material fact, that 4 to 6 years benefit, is it available? It is not available. That 4 to 6 years benefit, is it available? It is not available. And now coming to the last point, students, now the AO coming to know that they are losing this case, what they did, they then went to the 16 years criteria. Now what the department said, so what the Supreme Court said? The Supreme Court said that did you mention in your notice that you are intending to initiate that proceedings as per the second proviso to section 147, which is the 16 years criteria? Did you mention in your notice? And the answer is no. Please see over here. That the notice under 147, there was no mention of any foreign entity and nothing in the reasons to indicate that the department was intending to apply the extended period of 16 years. It was only after the SSE has filed its reply to the reason given that in the order of rejection was made in the second proviso. And this is not a fair or proper procedure and notice that the fact that you have not given the SSE any opportunity to defend his case on the basis of 16 years. You only took up the 16 years point somewhere in between, not at the very start of the proceedings. And therefore, they have said that the department cannot invoke first and second proviso to section 147 in this case. This is particularly a point which has been there in this context, students, and this is how the things has to be considered. So therefore, students, to conclude it herein, मेरे हिसाब से this particular case law which they have targeted, students, was unfortunate. Although I have covered it in my particular booklet, but frankly speaking, at going with a larger audience across the country, see, if the ICAI is giving the case law list, I think the case law list is around 75 or 80 up till now. इतना तो case law list हो ही है ना. Around 75 to 80 up till now, we have got what? We have got this particular case law list. So if that much is the total case law list which is there, so what we expect in this context, what is the expectation? Obviously the expectation is that we don't get a kind of a question, which goes with what? Which goes with this NDTV, Bashir Sisodia. Yes, they are very good judgment. Pilcom is a very good judgment, but at least students, they should have covered, because syllabus is vast. ऐसा नहीं कि syllabus छोटा है. Now, how do I know as a student primarily that I am supposed to refer all these case laws also? And this is very harsh. Actually, this is really very harsh. And I feel a bit sorry, at least for the old course students specifically, because of the fact that since it was touted as a last particular attempt for the old course, although we have still been arguing for the at least one reasonable extension, for which so far no such notices has been given by the ICAI. So this has been a very unfortunate case. So this is precisely what it is to be considered over here. And what to say, students, let's see if we can get lucky very soon in this regard. So we will have a look on this particular point. So students, shall we proceed further? Now, what are the other particular important judgment which has been there? Other were not a difficult one. After this, it was like everything was something which we can say this was very straight case law. Something which was being there. Like after this was a good question. Whereas I have referred this one. ICS covered this one in their MCQs and all. So this was already being covered. So it was a case of an equalization levy. Primarily, it was a case of an equalization levy. Simple question, students. I've already given the answer PDF. You can just refer it in this context. Question number 6 is a theory question, outrightly a theory question out and out. Out and out, it's a theory question which has been there. This kind of a question, obviously it was a lottery. Students felt good about it. Students felt good about this particular question. The only question which was something which was very difficult, which I would say and I will maintain, was this one. Again, this question was the simplest of the lot. A and B, the question was simple herein.